Okay, people, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Burr. My company is Black Series Edition LLC with Crystal Edge Technology Screens, and also to FLE-VT, our new site we're working on. Today we're going to be talking about gain. Yeah, gain. So the reason why I bring this up is because, is it real? Is these new gains coming out? Are they real? You got the FLE gain. You have the advanced ambient light rejection, which is both our technologies. You have something called gain range or range gain. And then you have 2.0. People just say they have 2.0. Well, let me explain something to you. 2.0 is old. We were using 2.0 8 years ago. Everybody was using 2.0 8 years ago, literally, because 8 years ago, or 9 years ago, or 10 years ago, 2.0 was considered to be a high gain. Now today, you find it on white projection screens. High gains you find on screens now are going to be 8 and 9. Those are the ones you're going to find. I've done a ton of certified projection screens. Certified projection screens have much higher gains than your lighter screens. Lighter screens do not have an 8 and 9 gain. I've never seen one with one at all, period. So in order for you to be able to back up, because we got someone who basically questioned my company, they sat there and said, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he's not using the meter that measures the gain. Well, the reason why we don't use that meter is because we have a technology called advanced ambient light rejection. So advanced ambient light rejection allows my screens to be able to do things that other screens can't do. And keep in mind, there's challenges underneath this technology to back it up. As I said before, it does things that other screens can't do. And if you have a screen and a gain that you developed, and you could back this up 100% of it doing things that other screens can't do, no one's been able to duplicate it, then that means at the end of the day that you can call it whatever you want. Elite Screens has something called ceiling light rejection technology for their ultra short throws. I've tested all three of those. Surfaces, it does work. Literally, if you take your hand and put it over top of it, the screen goes dark. But if you move it, it actually gets brighter. And if you have it upside down, it doesn't work well either. It has to be pointed up when the arrows are. So I tested their product. Their product works exactly as it claims it does. So they have a right to call it that. But if you are calling your product a 2.0, a 2.0 is old. Old gray screens have 2.0s on them. You will never see a gray screen with a 0.8, 0.9 gain on it. Any screens claiming to have this capability, keep in mind you're going to have to show some outstanding, some insane demonstrations showing your product does this. But we have something called the range gain, which again, going to get you sued in court. Because again, if you're making false accusations about your product, this is company fraud. Can't do that at the end of the day. You can get reported for this if you can't back up this theory. Mind you, if you're convicted of fraud, this is $1 million in fines and up to 20 to 30 years in prison if you can't prove this. If anyone decides to take you to court on this, which we are already taking 2 people to court on committing fraud on their company. Let me see. So let's go over to, for us, we would have under our technology, and it says, well, what about your technology? Yeah, you know how many different versions of ambient light rejection technology demonstrations I've done on my technology? It's not even funny. Let's go to, as a matter of fact, what better way to show ambient light rejection technology outside? I think that's the best way to go. So let's go pop over to our Crystal Edge page. It literally has one of the biggest demonstrations on outside than any other company, anybody on the market. Look it up. Do the research yourself. I always tell people, do the research. Go check it out. Got customers outside, customers inside, showing off the technology. Outside, that's our advanced ambient light rejection technology. It also has multiple challenges locked onto it, which means we challenge anyone to actually try to compete with that gain capability. And again, if you notice in our demonstrations, we're not stuck in dark little environments, ambient light controlled environments, none of that at all whatsoever. We're in fully lit environments, plenty of window light pushing against the screens. And I think we have it right here. These are tons of picture demonstrations outside, and here we are. This is the biggest, most outside demonstrations on and off YouTube. Wait, it's a challenge. It's literally a challenge on that product. This whole section is a challenge. So these are our demonstrations outside showing advanced ambient light rejection technology. As you can see, we're outside on our ultra short throw projector setup over here, Optima GT 5500. So you got to back it up. See, outside. So when I have customers that come to me and say, hey, I have an ultra short throw projector, I'm stuck in the dark, will your product work? We show them this. If we can get it to work outside on the same projector, any projector, we can get it to work on inside, easy. So as you notice, no windows, nothing at all blocking the screen, no walls wrapped around it, just outside in the open. When I watch people doing ultra short throw demonstrations and they say, oh, it's in extreme lighting, don't make me laugh, because you're not in extreme lighting. This would be considered extreme lighting. Do you see any windows, doors? Not even a roof out here protecting the screen. So we show white levels, we show contrast and color. This is on a Supreme 8. People bump into this video quite a bit. Contrast levels right there. So when a customer is looking up your product, they should be able to find this stuff easily. Starfield demonstration. So with that being said, that shows you that one video alone by itself could knock out every single video. And I'm not bragging, it's true. It's a challenge behind that one too. Also, try to find me one demonstration on YouTube, any company, any paint, anyone that matched that demonstration. We actually beat their own promo demonstration with that video. Let's see, motorized projection screens. Did that one too, right over here, outside. And did that's a 7 outside. Let's go outside. So our advanced ambient light projection, this would be our technology under what we have here, and then the FLE is the other one. So I'm outside about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, out there watching little Despicable Me. Which means I can use the screen inside or outside if I choose. And that's one of the things I love about the technology. Let me see. Got any over here? Inflatable screens. Yeah, I did that one too. Where's that inflatable screen? Over here, 100 inflatable screens outside. See how far my projector sits back. My projector always sits back a good distance. That's oh, matter of fact, that's the projector we have over here. VPL FH30, $300. This is our new gaming outside. Constant feed of power. That's when we're doing our own motorized, that's our own inflatable screens. At least with not a constant flow of power. Now you see how the screen looks just like a TV? It's not washed out, it's not faded. It's reading a 100% contrast level, all the colors pop. That's what our technology is going to look like this year outside. Except it's going to have that FLE embedded into it. And we're going to have our own inflatable screens, which I think our screens will have no problem knocking out the competition of a white screen. I've got demonstrations where I have walked through my house. I've gone downstairs, started from one room, walked downstairs. We've got 126 in a bay of windows, turned around, walked up, watched up a ceiling, did a 235.1 screen, and went outside and watched another movie. Because it doesn't change. That's the whole purpose of the demonstration, that you're not going to have a nice looking screen inside and then go outside and have this crappy washed out screen. No, they all should be in sync. They all should match. No matter what room I walk into, they all should match. Let's come over here. I'll be so happy to do this demonstration off my glass screen behind me once my adapter comes in from my portable. It's my portable unit, so I can't wait for that to come in. I don't want to use this anymore. Dual 150-inch screens. These are side by side. You know, this is 720p and 1080p side by side. We're doing it live outside. Hopefully. White levels. So I can show outer space on one side. I can show a bone white level on the other side. Now, if you're going to be talking about ambient light rejection technology, the best way to prove this is to be outside. I like testing ambient light rejection technology outside. Inside is too easy for us. The environment. So we, even when I was in the other house with all the lighting, and all in the apartment, all the lighting, it's not, it's boring for us because we've done it too many times to count. When I'm outside, it's more of a challenge for me because again, there's nothing to protect the screen. The lighting we have outside right now would easily eat that projector up at 4,000 lumens before it makes contact to that screen. And we're 18 feet away from each projector, is 18 feet away from the screen. So there's more light out there than is actually inside your home right now. There's your duals. Let me see. You know why I did the demonstration out in the snow? Challenge. It wasn't the fact that it was in the snow. Do you know how much light comes off of snow? So when you're outside and it's snowing and you walk outside, your eyes get really, your pupils get real small. It's hard for you to see because it's so bright out there. Now imagine you stick a screen out and all that craziness. That's what I thought when I saw the demonstration. It wasn't the fact that the screen is weatherproof. We knew that. It was the fact that we knew the screen was going to deal with 10 times more light because it was outside and all that snow. And that means the projector's lumen count would have to work twice as hard.
We're doing this live, so basically we have a live version. Usually, like I said, I don't like to do videos.
You're now interested in to take a black screen and show a snowstorm as you're in the snow. So it has to work twice as hard because again, as I said before, you have all that white light pushing off. It's like being in an all-white room, which we've done those before too. And that means that lumen count gets torn up even faster. So this is advanced ambient light rejection technology right here. 38s. But a 2.0, if you're bragging about a 2.0, that's old. 2.0s has been around forever. 2.0s were out when I was on AVS forums in Mississippi, man. They're old. It's not new. 2.0 is on a white screen. The high-end gain screens, like I said, I've tested with the diamonds. I've tested with the Dark Star 9. There's 0.8, 0.9. Even that screen called Parallax, or I forgot, by daylight screen. Sorry about if I butchered your screen. I do apologize. Your screen is a 0.8 or 0.9. Somewhere in that range. So, yeah, the gunmetal screens have much, much, much higher gains. I liked it when someone said he has to use 4,000, 5,000 lumen projectors. Let me explain something to you real quick. Your product doesn't work on a 4,000, 5,000 projector. I have more projectors in my arsenal than these individuals call themselves having products. And we have way more projectors. And I can tell you from the door, your product doesn't work on any of these projectors at all, period. Very hard time trying to lift. We don't count the Series C's as a product. We don't. It's fraudulent, fake product. We did make several attempts to purchase the product, and the owner refused to sell us the product due to the fact that he knew it was a fake. It was a fraud. It wasn't going to work. So the range game, that's absolutely bogus. That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my entire life. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. We have it on several forum sites. They consider it to be the joke of the day. There's no way in the world, virtually impossible, you're going to paint a screen, the same paint, nothing added to it, no crystals, nothing or anything at all to alter or change. There's one guy has these little crystals you put into the paint. There's nothing there. You just paint the screen in a different direction and it changes game. Oh, I definitely challenge you on that one in court. I'm definitely going to challenge you on that one in court. No doubt about it. Definitely going to challenge you on that one in court. You're going to show us in court. You don't want to, it's funny because, when I speak to my lawyers about it, he says, "Did you try to get the product?" Yeah, I tried to get the product, but the guy changed his state. He took the state out. He says, "Well, that clearly shows that he can't back it up. If he's going to remove an entire state." I said, "Yep, so we'll see him in court." "Yeah, I'm going to challenge your company. I'm bringing your company to court." We don't need your name and where you live at the end of the day. Cops, we'll have that already from the charges he already has placed against them for some dumb stuff. But we're taking your company to court. I don't need all your information. I just need your company, your website, all that stuff. They'll go through square one. They'll get all your information right from there because you're under investigation. So FBI will go through all that stuff to get all that information right from the door, your registration, all that. So we'll have everything by the end of the day. We're taking this company to court because he's lying. He's lying to consumers, telling me he has a range gain. And when we went to a site and we posted that, they were like, "That is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. Like, how would that even be possible?" going to a car dealership and saying, hey, this car is red, but if you take it past 80 miles an hour, it turns green. We're not born yesterday. I can't stand when people talk to people like they were born yesterday. Range gain. That's a dumb, like I said, it doesn't exist at all, period. Period. But this right here, as we show you in here, this is a difference between a white screen and our technology. You can see different. Our screen pulls up an amazing high gain. White screen's not even registered. Even the areas we just splattered with our paint, we didn't even paint the whole screen. That shows you how much you're losing off your screen versus our technology. And yes, we've done these at 1,000 lumens. We've done them at 50 lumens. We've done them at all that. I got a 50 lumen projector outside. Sorry about that. Outside, excuse me, 50 lumens outside. Here's another one. Perfect example why gray and white screens don't run. They're completely useless outside. They don't work. Now I explain to these people that when we go to court, what you know will be challenged in court. It will be. It will be challenged. Your knowledge will be challenged in court on how much you know. Because if I'm going to argue a case and sit there and say, well, you know, they don't have enough knowledge in their products. Excuse me, we can clearly state that gray and white screens don't produce outside. How would you know that we've done extensive testing? Our testing goes on forever. And they'll ask you exactly, where's your testing to back your theory on exactly what Mr. Bird's claiming? You don't have any. You don't even have tests. Just might as just put the anchor around your neck and just toss it in because you're going down with it. There's no way in the world you to back it. We already know from the door it doesn't work. So gray and white screens don't register outside at all, period. They won't pick up. But our gain would have to be extremely high. Look at this. Can't pick up no lightning storms. Nothing registers at all, period. Let me show you something. These are some of the demonstrations we're going to be doing when we show off our screens outside versus white screen. We're going to have one coated half and half. Do you see how much of a massive difference that is? Gray screen on this side, white screen on this side, black technology on the middle. That is literally how much of your picture that you lose when you're outside, even in the dark. If your screen has that ashy kind of look around your screen, you're not picking up anything at all, period. You got a white screen and you're picking up that, or gray screen, you're picking up that ash all around the screen. Yeah, you're not reading jack at all, period. Your screen is completely, your projector is completely blind. That's literally how much you lose. And this is on a $300 projectors outside in the dark. Because, you know, we kept getting these all the time. Well, I'm going to be out in the dark anyway. There's no point, you know, my screen's still going to be able to pick up because it's in the dark. No, you can't see anything. That's literally how much you lose. It's crazy on how much you lose on a gray and white screen. This is why I told you when I go to barbecues and get together and they pull a white screen, I walk away. I'm used to seeing this all day. I'm not used to seeing that. Washed out image. Very washed out image. Let's go out of here. Just want to show you at nighttime. Let's see. Here we go. This is a challenge. We've never had this met yet. We're still waiting on this one. This challenge has been here for quite some time. This is called 1100 lumen challenge. And we get a habit of people talking too much trash at the end of the day, and they like to run their mouths too much, so we give you challenges. And what happens when we give you challenges? They're never met. What happens when we come to your website to buy your products? We get cancellations. I can literally add to the list. We had a state removed one time. I can literally add that. When I sit there and I go online and I talk to people about this technology, I will be bringing these stories up. Oh, yes, I will be bringing these stories up. Yeah, we literally had a guy pull an entire state out of the shopping cart because he couldn't back the product up. Oh, my goodness. The trash talk, the unbelievable trash talk behind this, beyond trash talk. Beyond. I'm talking about literally put a happy face up there, the whole thing up there. Literally. After when we get to that point, when we see stuff like that, we call y'all trolls. We don't consider y'all to be not professional in the field. You're considered to be jokes. That's it. No one takes you seriously. AVS Farms, Projector Central. None of them places will take you seriously. Now, I have people on YouTube don't even take you seriously at all. Not all of them don't take you seriously. Because if you're doing stuff like that and you're talking all this trash and you can't back it up, you're fake. You're phony. It's like getting a box strip there, talk all this trash about you, this, that, and the other. He never shows up for the fight. And he comes back the next day like, yeah, I'm this, that, and the other. No, you're fake. You're phony. 1100 lumen challenge. We're outside with 1100 lumens. It's a challenge. It's sitting there. It's been there for like around 2019 or something. It's been there for a while. 1100 lumens. If you're going to talk about having real gain, you should be doing demonstrations like this. Now, that nonsense with that Series C, we don't call it Series C black. I call it Series C gray. That's what it is, a gray screen, because it came up gray multiple times. And I'm pretty sure if he did honor the agreement, didn't remove the state and left it in there, and we got the product down here, it would have turned gray, which clearly shows you at the end of the day that Crow went in and faked the product. He actually changed it over to black, because in his demonstration, and everybody knows on the different forum site, that the handles at the bottom of the screen were black, but the screen was coming up in gray. That's why he did the narrow shot, because he didn't want you to compare it to anything in the environment that could be black, that could show the screen was physically gray. And then the next demonstration, he coated the screen black. That's a shame at the end of the day. These guys commit fraud on so many dirty levels. But again, as I said before, this is what your screen should react well if you basically have a good high gain capability. So when SolidWave 5 did the demonstration, he had the windows, the light that should have been hitting the screen, he had the blinds pointed upward, and then put some bullcrap lie in there saying, well, we had the light going upward because it's bouncing off the ceiling and it's bouncing down. Wait, you see this demonstration? There is no ceiling. There's no walls. There's nothing there at all for that screen to defend itself. Projector is 1100 lumens, not 300 lumens, 3000 lumens like your projector, 1100 at 12 feet, which means by the time it makes it to A to B, there's nothing left of it. And that screen can generate. So when I see people doing demonstrations and you use the excuse that you have to push blinds up in the air because it's scattering lightning, you're a joke. This is why we laugh at you. This is why we consider you guys to be jokes, because we do demonstrations like this. I'm like, why is he pointing the blinds up at the window? Now, I find it funny that, why didn't you point the other blinds up at the window? Because they weren't nowhere near the screen. You made some excuse. It was scattering the light in the environment. Well, guess what? My screen's sitting outside right now. Guess how much light's making contact with my screen? Quite a lot. Either it works or it doesn't, gentlemen. That's the problem. If you have an 8.5 or whatever gain it was, and in the demonstrations, neither parties told you what gain it was. As a matter of fact, we had them here on a live stream and we requested what gain is that, and they couldn't tell us because they didn't know themselves. They didn't know what they painted in. They don't know how to do the range gain, paint, whatever. We sat there and we wasted time watching this demonstration. You're supposed to have a link posting where and how you do this, and there was nothing talked about it in none of the demonstrations whatsoever, so it's fake. So with that being said, his company's being brought up on fraud charges because he undermined it and misled its customers into making them believe that this is something that exists when technically it doesn't. So either Mr. Rogers is going to have to back up in court that his product does this, and if he's not, he's going to go to jail. That's what's going to happen. So either he's going to have to remove it from his site or shut his site down completely, or if he wants to keep it standing, then he's going to have to remove it off his site because it's not true. And because of me saying this, and again, these guys are pretty arrogant, they're going to basically go down with the sinking ship. I'll guarantee you that, bar none. And in order for him to remove that, that's going to show at the end of the day that I was right. But I am right. It's not to say to keep you from removing it. I am actually right. It doesn't exist. So when I take you to court on this, and we challenge you on this, does this range gain exist? You're going to have to back this up. It's like Valva and Epson. Epson took Valva to court because Valva claimed they had a 6,000 lumen projector. And Epson said, nope, I'm calling crap on that. You don't have that capability. Epson's been around forever. I'm pretty sure they can tell their technicians and can look at that screen and go, that is not 6,000 lumens. Even I can tell it wasn't 6,000 lumens. It was too dim. And they challenged him, and Valve lost. Look it up for yourself. They lost their lawsuit because, again, they couldn't back up the theory, and they lost. So they had to give out what the gain actually was, the brightness of the lumen actually was, which was around 25 to 18, nowhere near 6,000 at all. But imagine beefing your numbers up like that so you can get people to buy your products. And that's what Rogers is being accused of. He went in and falsified them, and falsified and put on specifications that weren't true, and he's being challenged in court. Now, it's up to him whether he removes it and gets rid of it altogether and comes up with some videos or demonstrations proving that this gain actually does exist, or something close to, I don't know, something, but not that mess. And if you can't back it up, well, he's looking at a 20 to 30-year prison sentence if he doesn't. Now, keep in mind, this also will get him tons of customers that would be extremely upset. Say his product was selling extremely well. Do you have any idea how many not as described claims he would have against him? Because the first thing the customer is going to do is when they look at it, they're going to say, do you think they're going to go for the lower gain or the higher gain? I'm betting they're going to go over the higher gain. So they're going to ask him, what gain did I actually paint in when I painted the screen? What could you tell them? Because, my lawyer will ask you the same thing when you're on the stand. What gain would I have achieved if I painted in the screen? And how would have I achieved the lower gain or the higher gain? How would I have gone about doing this particular technique that you have developed? I would love to see this. It's kind of like if a company makes an aspirin and they sit on their website and say, hey, you take this pill and it'll cure cancer. Do you have any idea how much trouble you can get in for that? If you have no proof to document that, at the end of the day, this pill that you're claiming cures cancer and it's just fake. It could be a sugar pill for all you know. It could be anything in there. You don't know that. So you don't have any kind of data, nothing backing this up, anything whatsoever showing that this is actually existing. This can get you in a lot of trouble. Get you sued, which means someone's going to take you to court, or some company's going to take you to court, or even the FBI or the government will take you to court and challenge you on this. We have to see something showing this actually does exist. If not, you're going to be in a lot of trouble here, because people are buying this. And if they're buying this thinking that this is actually going to work and it doesn't, then you have caused a lot of trouble and a lot of problems, and you can get in a lot of trouble for this. You basically misled customers. Now, if he has this on his site as information, there's no PayPal shopping cart up there, he's not taking a transaction of money from one person to another, then we can put whatever we want up there. At the end of the day, it's up to people to just figure out whether or not it's true or not. But at least it's not going to cost you any money at the end of the day. So that's a good thing about it. He's not committing any form of fraud on that level. He's lying and misleading a little bit, but there's no way to cause any damage because there's no money exchanging hands. So therefore, there's no currency. But the fact that there is currency and there is a shopping cart there, that means you have committed fraud, and that means we can get you. So I gave you 3 days to remove it. As a matter of fact, we can show the judge that I caught you on it and I told you to remove it off your site. And the fact that it's still there shows that you have continued to carry on with this activity, and therefore we take you to court now. Because I can show the judge we did. And if you ever sit there in front of the judge and says, well, Mr. Bird, did you try to buy this product? Oh yeah, we did try to buy the product. As a matter of fact, we showed him the whole video drama that went down. He shut the site down, made claims that he couldn't open it up. He's on vacation. Gave me this big old smiley happy face. He's going to open it up on the 3rd. We come in to buy it. We find out there's an entire state missing. We went to the site twice, recorded it twice. State is missing. Mr. Rogers, if you sit there and say at the end of the day, well, we don't ship to Pennsylvania. And I can say, oh, but they do. Well, how would you know that? Because we have receipts. We have previous receipts and cancellations from Mr. Rogers showing that we made transactions to the site. Actually, one of them went through and it sat on his PayPal account for about 2 weeks before we had to file a complaint to PayPal for him to ship out the item. And he chose to give us back the money. Now, in order for those transactions to go through, that means the state would have to be there in order for the transaction to become valid. And therefore, since the transaction is valid, that means the state of Pennsylvania had to be there in the shopping carts in order for the order to go through. I should have been a lawyer, shouldn't I? Yeah. But anyway, yes. Because if there didn't support Pennsylvania to begin with, I would never have the cancellations. It'd be virtually impossible because the order could have never gone through. There you go. See? And therefore, we can make the claim that the range gain does not exist at all. Now, again, it's dangerous in two paths because, again, it's going to get him Anyone who buys this stuff is going to request this. On top of that, the nightmare of painting this thing in to begin with, you saw that's pretty crazy, but that's not talking about the range gain right now. It's talking about his product of painting it in. It's a bit of a hot mess. But the problem you have here is, like I said, the gain doesn't exist. And therefore, your customers are going to file a have not as described against you. Because they're going to contact you and say, hey, look, I need to know, how do we achieve this certain high gain? And do I have it? How do I know I have it? What did I do? Can you prove that I have it? There you go. So that's what he's going to be fighting. Now, as for Jamie's gain, as I said before, his game is a 2.0. The rest of his products, I'm not going through that freaking circus ride of a website ever again. I'm done with that. We're taking him to court. He already got multiple criminal charges and other stuff against him, which we'll see him in court soon. But anyway, besides that, his gain being a 2.0. After I've looked at his website, I have seen no gain. The only ones I see gain is a Metallica 2.0 that says it has a 2.0 gain, and that's basically about it. Is a 2.0 gain all that great? No, it's actually pretty crappy. It really is. It's the reason why he's always in dark environments. On top of that, gray screens don't really pull up all that well. But anyway, yeah, a 2.0 is old. 2.0, you find 2.0 white screens. 1.0, 0.1, 2.0. They're mainly found on white screens, or really light gray screens have that. So that's a really poor gain to begin with. We call that a budget gain. When you can't afford these 0.8 and 0.9, you have the budget gain. Let me go back to this right here. So when Stanley 5 sat there and said, well, he doesn't even use the range gain category, we don't need it. We don't use it because our technology is beyond that. Because this is an advanced ambient light rejection technology. It does a demonstration that no other screen can do because there's a challenge sitting on top of this demonstration. The challenge, not only screen paints, but any company. We challenged all companies, every company, certified, non-certified, didn't make a difference. We challenge you to do the exact same duplication of the demonstration and post the link below. There's nothing below this video, not a thing. So, if that means that the highest gain, I've seen, which I said is a 10, which I haven't seen yet. And we could paint this to a top of a ceiling and watch a football game with the lights on. Mind you, the very lights that are on that plague an everyday screen and causes it to wash out, we can put a screen up there for fun. So that would tell you right there that if we have technology that can do that from the door, we can call it what we want. We call it advanced ambient light rejection because we don't consider the fact we're in the same field as ambient light rejection. And for what I see in ambient light rejection technology already, y'all don't even sit in that field at all, period. Because why are you in a, this is what I could understand. If you're going to say you have a screen that's ambient light rejection, why are you in an ambient light controlled environment? It doesn't make any sense. Your environments are near dark. That's the part I don't get and I don't understand. Let me show you something right here. This is what you should be to fire up in. That's me outside, watching Cat in the Hat. That's advanced ambient light rejection technology. Let's go up here, take this out. Let's see, right here. It's me outside watching Despicable Me. Now I had one on the porch. Now I got 180 inch outside. So I went from the screen that we had on the porch at 92 inches to 180 inch screen outside. And if you notice, the cinema bars are black, not gray. Now, usually when I get people contact me about these demonstrations, they always ask, what are you using, like 7,000, 8,000 in projector? No, it's a 4,000 in projector outside. Now, people think because there's a 4,000 in projector, he starts at 4,000, he ends with 4,000. Oh, heck no, we don't. We have way less than that. There's no way in the world you're going to end and start with 4,000. Not outside, you won't. So that's one demonstration right there. This is what, and to the customers at the end of the day, when you have people making these false accusations about their gain at the end of the day, These are the demonstrations you need to be seeing on their website, on their YouTube channel to prove they have this capability. If not, they're just lying to you. 180-inch screen. You see how deep my blues are?
In your home or your business. Let's do a little gameplay real quick to show you how amazing this looks. 180 inches.
So my blues on my screen look exactly the same way if you were to have this on your screen in your TV at home. But I'm outside at 180 inches. Do a little racing out there. So if we say that, yeah, we have an ambient light rejection technology, and this is what we call it, and the reason why we don't entertain the whole gain meter and all that, Mr. Soloway 5, is because due to the fact that we are beyond that. That's why. We're way beyond that. I'm not sitting there in a room pointing my blinds up in the ceiling, talking about sprinkling light. You know, we're not sprinkling light outside. Our screen is actually in the light. There you go. We don't hide from ambient light. We never have. When I have to redirect my blinds up to a ceiling and come on camera and sit there and lie and say, oh, it's just bouncing off the ceiling, it's just spraying the light everywhere. Seriously? Really? You really thought that was going to work at the end of the day? Let me tell you something. For people who are learning for the first time, and I feel sorry for you people learning for the first time, and it's a shame that you have to go through that. But people that are experts in the field like this, and I've been doing this for years, can sit there and tell me that I'm calling that as bullcrap. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. It's pointing the blinds up at the ceiling. No, you redirected the light so it wouldn't make contact with the screen, because that window was closer to the screen. It would wash it out. And I don't even know if that was your bigger problem. Your bigger problem wasn't the fact that your screen was washing out. Your bigger problem was your screen wasn't coming up black. That's your bigger problem. That's your bigger problem. You might want to have it turn black first and then explain that theory. Because if you have a black screen, you should not be directing light anywhere. It should be making contact with the screen. Like I can drop 2 sets of floods right in front of my screen and everything else will wash up, but that screen will remain 100% infinity black. This is what you should be to pick up. See on that angle when you turn to the side, bam, it should pick up. The vantage point. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I walk down the street sometimes, I'll be out with my friends, and I just start laughing like, what's funny? I just listen to some of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Literally heard some guy talk about the vantage point on against another black screen. Gee whiz Louise. I can see why you canceled. Yeah, because if that product would have got down here, yeah, it'd have been outed on so many levels, it would have been funny. Our testing is brutal. I mean, brutal testing. We're going to put that stuff through some testing. It would run through the same thing we put our products through. It wouldn't have passed any of them. It would have failed miserably. And it's a good thing he did cancel. That thing would have got down here, yeah, it wouldn't have went well. See? This is how you should be to generate outside. Now to the customers, right? This is how your screens are supposed to react. This is what you should be getting from your projector. Your projector has that capability. If you're hitting the screen and it's not looking like that, that means you're cheating your projector. Your projector's trying. It's trying its hardest to show you that it's a good projector. But the problem is it can't show you it's a good projector because you're displaying it on a screen that doesn't work. Imagine having the ability to be the best that you could be, and you'll never get a chance to show that because someone's cheating it and taking it away from you. That's what you do to your projectors. You're cheating your own projectors, your machines. That projector we're using right there, I think that's a Sony VPO FA30 outside. Let me see. So how far back we're from the screen? So keep in mind, for the people who had this projector, because we sent these videos, they use this on a white screen. I watched their promo demonstration. They used it on a white screen. And they thought when they had that projector that, well, it has amazing contrast and fantastic color. They didn't know jack about their own machine at the end of the day because they had it on the wrong screen. They had it on a white screen. You didn't see the true potentials of what your projector could actually do. When companies take the projectors and they display them on white screens, they have cut those machines in half. That's what they've had. They're only showing a smidgen of what that technology and that projector is designed to do. Projector only works as good as the screen it's being displayed on. If you take a high-end projector and you display it on a crappy screen, and like I said, the biggest lie that people tell themselves, and I told myself this myself, is that you literally believe that your projector is going to fix it all, and your projector is not going to fix it all. It's not going to fix it. Your screen is going to fail. That's what's going to happen. Your projector has amazing capabilities. The problem is you will never see what your projector's done. It's trying to do all that research, all that study, all that going to different forum sites and finding everything about the machine before you bought it, and you take it home and you belittle it on a white screen, on a gray screen. You belittle that technology in that projector. And that's why we send these demonstrations back to Sony. So Sony can say, hey, look, this is your your VPL FA30 projector that you discontinued because you thought the projector basically had poor quality, got a better projector, better contrast levels, better color, higher lumens, and for what? You're still basically producing at half your projector's capability. Well, we could take that older projector and I can knock out any demonstration that you have with your newer projector. Take that projector and put it against a white screen or gray screen and see what happens. If we put that against a black screen and put the old projector on it, we could take their screen out easily. And we could do it outside. No ambient light controlled environments at all. The gain. See the gain on that technology? That's the reason why. Number one. Oh, wait. That was the Chrissy LW505 projector right there. Yeah, that's the LW505 with the PlayStation next to it. So right there, as you can see, gain capability, absolutely amazing. Black technology, infinity contrast level colors, immaculate. Look at this menu, 100% black. And if the screen came up too dark, you couldn't read the letters. That'd be virtually impossible. Not with all that light smacking the screen.
Just one mission, life.
100%. I love black technology. I freaking love it. Yeah, our gain. That's why we don't go by that whole, what do you call it? Gain system. We're beyond that. Way beyond that. Now, as I said before, range gain doesn't exist. There's no proof that it exists at all whatsoever. It's fake. 2.0, way too low. Extremely low. As a matter of fact, on the Frankenstein, he didn't even have a gain on the Frankenstein. He didn't have a gain on the UV mix. There's no gain on it whatsoever. He doesn't even know what the gain is on that stuff. He doesn't even know what it is. It has no gain on it. Nothing at all, period. So what is it? We don't even know. Ugh. And that stuff turned out matching black and white paint anyway, because again, we made it. We made it on camera because we used this on tutorial to make it. So we don't even know what it is, to tell you the truth, honestly. It's not good. But it has no gain on it. And it says it has to be used in dark environments. You know, first of all, if you're doing a demonstration, especially on a darker mix, it should be in fully lit environments, because darker paint should have the ability to be able to draw in more light. It should be able to reflect more light, draw and absorb more light, whatever. But anyway, the fact that you have that screen constantly in the dark, yeah, that's a big red flag. Shouldn't have that problem or issue whatsoever. And I've taken that screen outside. It has not worked well. We've had the Frankenstein and we had the UV mixer on there a couple of times. It didn't go well. Again, gentlemen, as I said before, if your products work, we wouldn't have cancellations. That's what it comes down to. If your product actually worked, we wouldn't have any cancellations. I can order from anybody right now, and I would never have a cancellation. Heck, we can go across state, across country, and we can order whatever we want, and we'll never have cancellations. You guys, your products don't work, so your gains are fake. The 2.0 is not fake. It's just outdated. It's very outdated. All right, so let's go hop and skip over here. We got FLE Technology. FLE Technology real. Oh, let's check it out. Let's go. I love this stuff right here. Let's go over here to page right here. Now, FLE is designed to absorb sunlight, right? This is the two versions of this. One is actually the FLE with the FLE. I think it's an RM, and one's an RH, which one stands for medium, one stands for high. High version basically absorbs sunlight. The other one basically can take in a ton of light. As you can see, when I told you contrast levels, and we can get to that topic too, about this contrast level nonsense. We already know about that. A reason why I scream on that one is because we have people claim to have contrast and they're constantly in these dark environments. You know what helps contrast levels? Dark environments. That's what they do. Any company, including these guys or whoever else, anybody, if they're displaying a contrast level, this has to be done in a fully lit environment. I dropped 2 sets of freaking, I call them headaches, floods. Some things can be headaches every time I use them, but I dropped them in front of my screen, pushed all that light, and our contrast levels still remain. Other screens washed out. So if you do demonstrations, real quick off topic, and you stick them in dark environments, and you use projectors with tons of contrast, you're actually committing fraud. I'm going to challenge your company on that, by the way, when we go to court. So you're misleading your customers. Does your screen pick up a high enough contrast level? Does this contrast level exist? Your infinity contrast level that you claim your CINEMAX does. And in order to do this, you have to do this in a fully lit environment with the screen turning gray, which you can't do. If that was the case, the customer with the 4,000 lumen projector, 3,000 lumen projector, 4K at 200 inches, and I think he had a 500,000 to 1 contrast, his screen washed out so badly he couldn't even see it. And that's not good. That's actually pretty bad. So let's look up, let's see, FLE. We got FLE. And as you see already, type in FLE, the screen paint we have here pops up. Yeah, because we have our tabletop display, and these are at 50 lumen tabletop displays. And the demonstration with the 50 lumen tabletop display, we can clearly show you, even with a white sheet of paper and a gray screen, it won't even help the 50 lumen projector. It doesn't register on the table because it can't pick up. Because, you know, I have direct light coming down on top of the screen, so it washes out. Let's go over here. Let's check this out. This right here probably got some music behind this too. Yep. Bam! Outside, FLE Technology. This is one of the most powerful, and I know the naysayers are upset. I can see you leaving the room, but it's true. And FLE Technology is one of the most powerful technologies in gain on the face of the planet. It can absorb 100,000 lux of sunlight easily at 5,200 lumens. Now, for those people saying, well, it's 5,200 lumens. 5,200 lumens without that technology wouldn't even be the show. You wouldn't even see it. It doesn't even exist. It's like the equivalent of hitting a white screen with 7,000 lumens, which you can see in the demonstration with the church. It doesn't pick up. Just like I showed you with 50 lumens, if I hit that on a gray and white screen on top of my table, it doesn't read, it doesn't pick up. I showed you at 5,000 and 4,000, they don't pick up. Even in ultra short, though, gray and white don't pick up. So a direct sunlight, we're not talking about outside, this is inside and you don't pick up. Imagine outside at 100,000 lux, making contact with the screen. That's a beast of a screen. Now, if we can get that technology to run with direct, this is AdTech, part of AdTech's technology. We get that to run outside. You know what the inside application of that stuff does? That thing will run anywhere. I mean, literally anywhere. We can stick that in an office building surrounded by windows and put the screen, bam, right in the center of the walkway. It'll pick up. Doesn't make a difference because it can eat 100,000 lux of light. And that's the high version of the technology. And we tested this on contrast levels, we tested it on color levels, we tested it on different hours of the day to make sure that the product was functioning correctly at 100%. And keep in mind, Mr. Wake, for you saying that I don't understand much about a gain range meter or meter range, whatever we want to call it in the day, how to work it. This doesn't register anywhere on any site for any form of gain adjustment or how to measure how much gain. Where would this measure at? I would love to figure out exactly where does this measure at on any projection screen right now, on YouTube right now. Where does this measure at as that technology? Nowhere. There's nothing on Projector Central that will give us a reading on this. Nothing. So that's why we can call it whatever we want. When you have achieved, and I mean anybody, if you have achieved an ability for a screen to be able to pick up at a tremendous amount of light, You can call it whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can call it. Just like that technology that Elite Screens has, that ceiling light projection technology, and it does work. I tested it. I've had 3 of their screens. Is it advanced ours? No, because the screen's gray. That's why. But it does work. It does work. I've tested it. It actually works. And they can call it that. But that range gain, no, that stuff is trash. That stuff doesn't exist. You can care to take me to court on it, saying I slandered your product and said it was trash, it doesn't work. I'm really happy to go. Please, let's do this. I mean, I got no problem with that. But I will be taking you to court on this because it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as range gain. So no, that's fake. And for you to trick your customers without having any videos, no test on this product whatsoever, and make these statements is completely wrong. You know better than that. You shouldn't do that. I'm not going to do this other stuff we have on here. Direct contact. It's not direct contact through sunlight. That's not. It's probably about 6 o'clock, and it's running. So no, what we come down to, people, is that, you know, before people start, now the 2.0, like I said, it's a real gain. It does exist. But a 2.0 gain is not going to have you in a fully lit environment. No, you're going to have problems. The screen's going to wash out, especially with the screen being gray. You would never see a 2.0 in a gunmetal screen. It's too low of a gain. It's a very low gain. It's an outdated gain. That's what it is. So it's a screen that's going to have you definitely in the dark. The range gain doesn't exist. And as for Jamie's products, I've been through his site. I've been through all read through his specifications, which, gee whiz Louise. I've been through his specifications don't make any sense in there. He's even copied some of our specifications and he's using them, which, I mean, you gotta, I don't know how that would work. But anyway, as I said before, the 2.0 is the only thing I see on his products. I don't see anything else range with any gain on it. But he can't use it in a fully lit environment. The reason why he can't go higher than the 2.0 any of his products, because he stated on his YouTube channel, not YouTube channel, his website, that his product's not ambient light rejection gain. And if it's not ambient light rejection gain, he can't use any higher gain. What's the point of saying that my product's not ambient light rejection gain, but I have a 0.8 gain, but I have to be in a dark environment all the time? No, that's something wrong there. Something's definitely wrong with that. FLE. Ad tech. That's a demonstration we did for a store. That's the technology we're using, that they can take a projector on the back and push it right through a glass window. And as you can see, it's daytime outside. So yes, our FLE technology, it exists because we have tons and tons and tons of demonstrations in the FLE technology. We even are blessed to even have a chance to use it off-site or on-site to show that the product works. Contrast demonstration on FLE technology. So we're blessed to be able to get this technology in an actual storefront window to show it off. So at least we can have this testing that needed to be done. Where I was at, there was no place for me to test this at all, period. The apartment window? Nah, there's no place right there for me to test that right there. It wouldn't have worked at all, period. We needed someplace like an actual physical window. And you know what? God turns around and says, hey, this is what you need. I'm going to make it possible for you. So we have enough test demonstrations that were done in that window to be able to show that the product works 100%. And then we got our proof right there that we needed. Then we got a chance to go to another location and put a much bigger screen in their window and do the display again. So that's FLE. Can't tell you what it means, what it stands for, but that's the FLE technology right there. And this technology, when we're finished, we're going to have this for advertising and glass. This is going to be a new form of wallpaper projection screen setup that is going to make your ultra short look absolutely outstanding. You don't have to spend the money for an expensive one. Go get yourself a projector under $200. That's all you're going to need, and you'll have an image that looks far more advanced than any high-end projector with an infinity contrast attached to it. Mind you, the FLE technology looking at in the window right now basically is clear. We have 3 versions of this, but the TV version is jet black. Absolutely gorgeous. So imagine coming into your home, you can have your screen sitting right directly in front of a window, have all your lights on, and you can pick it up just like a TV. And then you can finally get and see exactly what your ultra short throw projector was designed to do, instead of being stuck in these dark environments where you can barely see anything in the environment. I've seen that with the P2. When I went to go look for the P2 demonstrations, every single person was sitting in these dark environments. At 3,000 lumens, less than a foot away from a screen with a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast, you're stuck in dark environments. That's poor. That's absolutely poor. That's not very good at all, period. Type in ultra short throw projectors. Ultra short. These are our tests on ultra short throw projectors at 115 screens, motorized projection screens, outside, inside. This is FLE on an ultra short throw. That's a Sony 720p ultra short throw projector. You know what that is right there? That's the table. That's the top of the table that's sitting right here right now on a 50 lumen projector displaying this image right here. That's the table right there. So I took a dirty piece of wood, turned that into my projection screen with an ultra short throw that cost me $300, 720p. Took it, cut it, set it on top of a table, hit it with a 50 lumen projector, and I can watch and turn it into a table. This is what you talk about technology. That's ultra short though, right there. No Optima GT or a P1 can actually do that if they're sitting on gray and white screens. $300 from ultra short throw. And this is the paint version of the technology. Now imagine the version that you just saw that got hit with that sunlight. That technology can pick up at 50 lumens. $50 lumens. $300 Sony short throw, ultra short throw projector. Advanced ambient light projection technology. To prove exactly how advanced that stuff was in ultra short throw, I walked around an entire building with a $178 720p projector under my arm and did demonstrations like this. Why these people are sitting here with these expensive P2s and freaking Samsungs and LGs, and all you guys out there on YouTube are stuck in these dark environments with these ultra short throw projectors. That right there is an NEC $178. You see the gain capability on that technology? You see that black technology does to that old projector? Why in the world would I go and spend all this money for an ultra short throw? Literally, I mean, to tell you the truth, honestly, If you guys were selling me on an ultra short throw, you were not doing a good job. Because if I didn't make this product, say somebody else made this product, why would I go out and give $3,100 or $4,000 for an ultra short throw, and I'm watching every single person in a dark environment, and then I come across this guy, and he's got a $178 NEC projector. He's in a fully lit environment. You know, the first thing I'm gonna do as a customer, I'm gonna find out how many people are matching that demonstration right there. And guess what I'm gonna do when I'm done my research? I'm gonna call this guy up. I'm gonna save myself a ton of money. $3,100 for a projector for what? You guys are all stuck in dark environments. You can't even pull up a contrast level if you need to. This guy's sitting over here on a commercial environment. He's in a fully lit environment. That's a 120-inch screen painted in right over there. I'm in a fully lit environment. How much did you pay for that projector, Mr. Bird? I paid $178 for it. Really? Guess how much money I saved at the end of the day? There you go. If you wonder why we get the business, why we get the customers, why people pay for our product, that's why. If you look at that, look. $178, 720p. You see any Christmas tree light splash behind the back of my screen? That nonsense? Nope. Our odor technology, right here, advanced ambient light rejection technology, can wipe anything on the market we choose. It's already proved this point. This product has proved itself over and over again. Now the FLE technology is far more advanced than this. I did a demonstration where I showed the difference between the white levels of an FLE versus this one. The FLE is much higher. So we consider this an obsolete product to us. That shows you how fast and our advancement, how fast our technology grows. To the certified companies, speaking to you guys, that technology right there can literally wipe out every screen, and it has. We've done the demonstrations. It can take your certifieds out with ease. That technology right there is now considered to be our obsolete product, and the new technology we have coming out is more powerful than that. Good luck catching up. Oh my goodness, good luck catching up. But then again, you're dealing with God's technology. God's technology is always going to be more advanced. Why is Danny still in there crying about screen paints products? Buddy, you canceled an order. You pulled an entire state. So we're done on that one. I have no idea why you're still in there trying to mention my name. Your Series C's, we try to go in and buy the product. You pulled an entire state. So that's it. Gee whiz Louise. He's still in there. Look, he's still in there crying and whining about something. He's in there. We're not going in there. Because when we try to go in and buy your product and you remove an entire state to keep us from buying it, you're done. That's it. You're finished. Your product doesn't work. So you're going to have to back up that range gain, because if you can't back up that range gain, we'll see you in court. And again, if you can't back it up, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get slammed with 20 to 30 years prison term. I think we're joking with you. We're not. Actually, this company was filed under complaint with the FBI. We filed it a couple of weeks, last month was filed. It was filed. So this company's under investigation for false accusations. First things first, all you're doing is just flashing a video on your product. No one's buying it. We tracked it. We couldn't find any customers on the product. There's nothing there at all. First thing, no one's going to sit there and waste the time to paint in a 100-inch, even a 120-inch screen to hear out of their mouth, oh, you didn't paint the screen. You were just moving the paint around. That right there alone is going to cause a cancellation right there from the door. So you mean to tell me if I go on site and I paint this product right here, over here, on this wall right here, I didn't actually paint the screen. I was just moving the paint around? Yeah. And then your product changes colors. Again, saying you buy your products are not over the counter. Oh, that's definitely going to get you in a lot of trouble, because then they're going to require safety material data codes, all kinds of stuff, because you're using raw elements to make your product. You don't have test facilities. You don't have any form of licensing. You don't have any kind of a chemistry background or the facility. You don't even have proper disposal of any of the boxes or chemicals or bottles that stuff may come in. So that's questionable. And again, Danny, I can't put this any better than anything else. You backed down. You canceled an order. Actually, you didn't cancel it. You went in and you basically removed an entire state. So you're done. You're finished. That's the end of it. So you can put down, do whatever video you got to do at the end of the day. That doesn't mean jack. No one's buying your stuff. That's all to it. Your gain is fake. Range gain doesn't even exist. Let's go over here and let's pull up another one we have under our technology. I think he's terrified. If he was supposed to go against an FLE, he backed down. Like I said, he removed an entire state. So can't come up there. He reminds me of a boxer who claims that he's king of the world, and then when he comes against a professional real boxer, then basically he goes in, he doesn't show up for the fight, he disappears. Then he comes back later on, same campaign, same nonsense. So we've got a history of Danny doing that over and over and over again. If you can back your products up, you back your products up. If you can't back them up, then you just don't show for the fight. And that's what he did. He even pulled an entire state out. Would you like me to repeat that process for you again to remind you your place in line? Again, your stuff does not work at all, period. I watched CINEMAX do 2 reviews on his product. The first one he did under some other product, I forget what it's called, but some kind of charcoal paint. It didn't come up, it came up a different color, completely different color. He did it against the Series C again. That came up under a different color again. And then he went in, he removed the 2 very important parts of the video, which showed the screen on a star field, which came up gray, and then came back in and lied and said the product works, when we can clearly see in the demonstration that the sample sheet of whatever that is at the bottom is matching the arcade cabinet, and it didn't even come close to matching your screen. So you lied on that one. And then he got tired of CINEMAX messing up, so he gave it to Jamie. And Jamie went in and painted the screen and used it on a kind of a tight vertical shot, so you couldn't compare it to anything, but the handle at the bottom of the screen was black and the screen wasn't. And everybody saw that. And then he turned around and painted the screen black and lied again on camera. And then we came in to buy the product, which I did, debit card in hand, go pick it up. He pulls his state. And we went over to the site twice to make sure that it was there, because we're going to order it and get it down here for testing. Wasn't to show up. So, Danny, you did your own damage to yourself. Your product doesn't work. It even changed color in your own demonstration itself. It changed to 2 different colors. And now you're going to be in court because, again, the range gain problem we have here. Range gain does not exist. And no customer is buying your products at all. Period. I'm just going to go near that stuff. I think they're mad at the end of the day because they're trying to get a rise out of me. They want me to go into their channel. They want me to... No, we're done on that. We're done. Gentlemen, we did this already. I went to your site. I did detailed research. Everybody watched me do it on live stream. I went to find customers. You had no customers. Jamie doesn't have any customers. Customers he does have, screens are washed out, products are matching house paint. We went through that video so many times looking for range gain. We found absolutely nothing. Just links going back to the previous video showing you how to paint the screen. There's nothing there. And I don't even know what's more disturbing. The fact that he's claimed that the product is front and rear. Has anybody seen the rear demonstrations? Nope, couldn't find those either. With a roller, you don't know anything about rear technology. You would damage the screen if you did that. So it's so many things you lie about your product. That's not true. And then we can't find any demonstrations on the product when it first launched. There's no test. There's nothing on it at all, period. You've pretty much self-destructed yourself. So we don't really have to say much. Your customer, if you do happen to get one, if they buy that stuff, number one, problems you're going to run into, screen's not going to be turned into the color it's supposed to be. That's why you trust, you had CINEMAX do the demonstrations, because you knew if something went wrong, he would lie on camera and said it worked anyway. And that's why you went to Jamie. If you went to anybody else, they'd have sat there and told you from the door, that stuff doesn't even come out black. It came out gray. You went to people at the end of the day that you knew were live for you. That's what you did. Your product doesn't work, man. You'll get a PayPal claim against you so fast it's not even funny, due to the fact that you can't even explain the range gain. It doesn't exist. Range gain. Range gain. You know what range gain is? It's for weightlifting. That's what it is. For building up gain. That's all that comes up. There's nothing there. I can put in, let me see. Let's put up the PSP. Oh shoot, that's just gonna bring up game systems. Gee whiz, your name itself is oh, I forgot. He got in trouble for that one. Yeah, so yeah, I got a notification back from Sony Corporation. They're going to basically file a lawsuit against Mr. Rogers because Mr. Rogers has something called similarity infringement, trademark infringement, which means his name is too close to Sony's PSP. That's the problem he has. So he's going to have to basically show in court who had it first, and it's not going to go well. So if we put up PSP, gee whiz, range gain. PSP range gain. We put up screen paint. It doesn't even come up under it. See? And only we come up. Because we're the ones that warned people about it. It was fake. It's not real. It's a fake theory. And everything else comes up as a game system. That's it. So you see I went into my site and I pulled up advanced ambient light projection. You see what pops up. We pull up FLE Technology. It pulls up. The demonstrations I'm seeing under Jamie's product, all his customers sit in the dark. We did that demonstration. I took one of my customers outside and I put it against all his customers, and every single one of his customers sat in a dark environment. They couldn't even go outside. Screens would wash out. So 2.0 is a poor gain. It can't pull up in those environments. That's why on his website he says not ambient light projection, because he has to cover himself. He gives off the illusion as if it can pull up in a 40, but it can't. Technically it can't. It will wash out. So that's the problem he has with him, and that's the problem his customers are plagued with. But as for Danny's product is not range gain. The range gain doesn't exist. That stuff is so fake, it's so phony, it's all a lie. But again, we've got that already taken care of. We already filed a complaint against this company. We're going to challenge this company in court, so that's already taken care of. But as for the consumer, they've already been warned. They already know. Any consumer that buys this and reads through that and doesn't have much of a specification in there, and they're going to look at that range gain, they're going to call them up and they're going to contact them and says, hey, how do we get this range gain? How do we paint this screen in? I'm all over your website. I'm not finding anything. How do you do this? If he can't tell you how to do it, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to file a complaint. Painting the screen, and as you saw, as many times he rolled over the screens because the screen was changing colors. It was streaking. It was having all kinds of issues. And as he did the close-up version of it, you could see where it just got so much worse. It was gritty, lumpy. It had this kind of like skin, like bumpy kind of texture to it. It was pretty bad. You know, I'm not saying that for gentlemen at the end of the day. I know you're sitting there thinking I'm saying because I'm not angry with you and I don't hate you at the end of the day. I'm not that type of person. I don't hate you at all, period. I had to take you to court and I had to tell you the truth, tell the truth what it is. Your product doesn't work. And I did make the effort to buy it. You can sit there in court and sit there and say, oh, he just hates us. No, I don't hate you. I try to buy your products. I try to give them a fair rating, and I would have. If you're going to question my testing, no one matches our testing. Right there from the door. No one matches any of our testing. So our testing must be thorough. We can throw batch numbers up there and test our products before the launch. So our testing is legit. But you guys have no testing at all, period. So you can't even argue that in court. So I tried to order your product to get it down here for testing. And yes, it was going to go do some brutal stuff as our stuff goes through brutal testing. But you got scared and you removed the state. It is what it is. You got scared. You guys are known for failing, falling on your face and getting back up and telling the same lie over and over again. You guys would make perfect politicians. You would. You'd sit there, do something stupid. It'd be all over the internet and you sit there and lie on camera as if it never even happened. You're perfect politicians. You are. I remember when he sat there one time when we was, and he was saying some stuff about he never said that it came in 4 different containers. It never said it came in the 4 different colors. We watched the video right there on the channel. It's 4 different colors. So if you have 4 different colors, 4 different shades, how would you ship this? What kind of magical container that you have at the end of the day that you can pour 4 colors in there and they don't cross-contaminate? Something's wrong with that. So, no, they do come in 4 different containers. That's the only other way. You want to question that with a judge? Because we can go when we go to court, Mr. Danny, I'm going to question you on everything. And I mean everything. Everything you wouldn't answer me on, I'm going to get you in that courtroom on top of that stand. And you're going to talk about a lot of things that you don't want to talk about because you don't have a choice. That's why I'm putting you in the court. We're going to ask all the questions that you refuse to answer. We're going to answer them in that courtroom. Whether you like it or not, you're going to answer the questions. So, how else are you going to ship this at the end of the day? How are you going to ship this out? If you sat there and said that How he said in the day, he said some nonsense. Oh, how would he know about my product? He never tried to purchase it. You want to really go with that one in court? Because I can show receipts where we did try to purchase your product. As a matter of fact, we can show the judge that you got so terrified, you pulled an entire marketplace down. That's not just hearsay. I got it on video showing that you actually did it. So again, I can back up everything I say in court. Jamie's product definitely committed fraud. Basically found out his product matched the house paint. Did he remove the product off his website? Did he try to basically give his customers back their money? Did he send out an apology? Nope. He continued to sell the product on his website as if it never even happened. He's been hit with fraud charges besides the outside charges with that. His charges are a little different because he's got perjury in his right there. Again, a whole LLC thing. Yeah, it's 2024 and that paperwork still ain't in yet. But the whole range gain, your stuff doesn't exist. I got it right here on your site, and you making an accusation that your product has a range gain attached to it. And when we tried to search and try to figure out what the range gain was, can't find nothing on it. So then we go to buy the product to bring it down there because my buddy got a gain gun. Oh yeah, he got a unit we can point at your screen and it gives it the readings and everything. He specializes in that field and all that crazy stuff anyway. He's a tech junkie. He's going to test your stuff to see if we can get the range gain to work. And guess what? He canceled the order. He ain't canceled, he removed the state. That's what he did. So range gain doesn't exist. You don't like the fact that we actually warn customers, and I do these videos to warn customers to stay away from their products. See, this is us right here reporting your site right here, constantly over and over again. Any one of these agencies can come in and pull up your information right from here because we got it all here for them. Range gain doesn't exist at all, period. So again, what is it? Because again, Danny, if you can't answer me in right now, which I don't expect you to, and I don't care, you will answer me in court. My lawyer will ask you a question. You're under oath. You're going to answer that question one way or another. So either you're going to tell you don't, in court, you're going to admit that it doesn't exist and you made it up, or you're going to show some proof that it does exist. Now, if you can't do this, you know what's going to happen to you. You're going to get some jail time for this. You can't go around making false accusations, especially when you have shopping carts that can take transactions. And the penalties are pretty heavy for this. So you're being challenged. Just like Epson, just like Balva, they challenged them, we're challenging you. And Jamie. Now, if you feel free, you want to challenge my company, knock yourself out. I look forward to it. Remind you, if you waste my time, as I said before, I'm going to hit you with a $500,000 lawsuit for wasting my time. It's your counter lawsuit. So, again, the fact that your attorneys have never contacted me or ever reached out to me at all whatsoever, period, shows you don't have anything at all. We have all the cards. But the range gain is fake. It doesn't exist. Let me see. We put the PSP, everything with the PSP. Game system pops up every single time. Let me see. Whew, man, that's the reason why he's getting the similarity trademark lawsuit, because again, it's too close to PlayStation's PSP portable or PlayStation portable. Let me see. Let's look for, come out of this all together. Let's do it this way. So this right here, we're looking for your customer reviews. This is just us because he doesn't come up anywhere. This is what he did. So what he did was he went in and he took the videos from the Goopity Goo. Those are the ones that'll come up because there's videos on that one. But the other product he called something in the PSP, there's no videos, there's no tests, there's nothing. There's no tests on that, none of them. But those are the videos that will come up. Some videos here and there will come up on this stuff. That's basically about it. But it's nothing. It's nothing but failed attempts. That's pretty much it. And again, this is from 2 months ago. Gee whiz. And again, gentlemen, you got caught lying on camera multiple times. Why are you still pushing this mess? See, this is us asking the same thing about again. This is me right here asking when you were going to open up and when you were going to make it possible for us to go in and buy the product. See, January the 4th. We came in January the 4th to pick it up, but he got scared and he removed an entire state. And everything else is on a PlayStation system, on the PSP system. See? That's pretty much it. On gaming system. That's where the similar lawsuit's going to pop up at. Let me see. Partay's Premium Paints. You got Party's Premium Paints. Let's see. Probably put the PSP next to it. This is all us at the bottom. This is him right here. But this is all us at the bottom. Product doesn't camping, there's no gain on it. Let me see. We don't go to Crow's site. Crow does crazy stuff on his site. He does weird stuff. We don't say he curses and carries on and acts up and all that. He just goes off. We don't entertain that at all, period. There's something wrong with that one right there. So we don't go to his site at all, period. Mind, this is where you want to make the purchase for the product, and the product was not, it basically removed an entire state. So let's go over here and let's see if this range gain is still in here. Making this false claim. Yep, there it is right there. Told you. This is why I told you at the end of the day, nope, this is fake. Not real. There's no such thing as range gain at all, period. Or gain range, whatever you want to call it, doesn't exist at all, period. No, we don't want you. We want you. Told you. Nothing at all. It doesn't exist. That's why I say you got to be careful what you buy at the end of the day. Because again, it doesn't exist at all, period. Let's put down, in fact, let's go put down the product. I wonder if he still has the video in there of this product. Basically, it says customers. Let me see.
All right.
Yeah, gray screen. You guys just continue to lie. Wow, that's unbelievable. You got to see this real quick. You got to see this real quick. That's gray. That's black. That's black. And the case is black. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is the reason why I tell people at the end of the day, yeah, be careful when you buy these. Don't even buy the product, period. Don't. Because what's going to happen is you're going to hit this guy with a PayPal complaint. And that's what's going to happen. Your screen's going to come out great. This is supposed to be the review of this black paint. And mind you, this is the supposed to be the fake Phantom. This is the actual screen. And he sits there and says the advantage point. Mind you, Salary 5, he did throw you on their bus. We did come in to buy the product. He removed an entire state. So, but look at this. This is a mess. The vantage point.
Like this has the advantage because
it has the advantage point? Gee whiz Louise. It's the advantage point. And he never mentions anything about gain. By the way, there's no range gain ever spoken of anywhere in here at all, period.
Something like this is going to look like this has the advantage because it is darker in tone.
No, buddy, your screen is gray. It literally is gray. It is gray. That's why I see you guys are completely colorblind. Yeah, I wanted to see if the video was still there. Your video is still there. It's definitely still there. And this is supposed to be the Series C, which again, we saw multiple times turn gray. Multiple times turn gray. And then the product itself you have here is the fact that it's still claiming to have this bogus range gain attached to it, which is not existing at all, period. Let's see, not existing. And then if you click on the link, it just takes you to the video from painting the screen in. And even in the video, the screen constantly changes colors all the time. It goes from gray to black to dark gray. It's a hot mess. Yeah, it's a hot mess. Recommended for 2,000 lumens. Well, you ain't picking up. And on top of that, it doesn't even work with ultra short throws at all, period. Let me see. Not recommended. I don't even know how this stuff would even work. I don't see why it wouldn't work for ultra short throws. It's gray. Ours work with ultra short throw. Not recommended for ultra short throw projectors. So that's a problem. And it only runs at around 2,000 lumens. We can pick up easily at 50 lumens easily on our technology. Yeah. It's the range gain doesn't exist. He's still trying to sell it as if it does, but it doesn't exist. And then for it to be a front and rear, I don't even know how that would even work as being a roll-on or spray-on front and rear. That's virtually impossible. You know how badly you will mark a screen up if you roll it on? Really bad. So again, this is all a scam right here from the door. Let's go back over here. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that range gain was still there, but it's still there. There's no such thing as range gain at all, period. We even been to his site and tried to dig it up. We've been to his website, and I've also been to his YouTube channel. There is no range gain. Because I would love to see this. I would love to see this. .2.0 white screen. White projection screen. 2.0 is low. Yeah, he's still doing it, which is good. Because again, his site's under investigation anyway for fraud. Gee whiz, they really want that much money for a white projection screen? That is freaking insane. Doesn't do anything. Really? Let me see. Now, these are outdoor screens. Outdoor screens are all white screens. These have a 2.0 gain. Get out of here. These have a 2.0 gain. So the highest you can get in the white screen is a 2.0. That's the highest you can get in the white screen. It's a 2.0. Even Elite screen has a 2.0. When it comes to outdoor screens. It's the Yardmaster or the white screen right here. 2.0, that's it for white screen. 2.0 is low. Someone sits there and tells you, oh, 2.0 is high. No, 2.0 is freaking low. Are you kidding me? 2.0 was high when it first started off, when gunmetal didn't exist. That's when 2.0 was high. Now you got screens with freaking 0.8, 0.6, 0.7, 0.9. You even have 10 in the gains in screens now. And you mean to tell me that you think a 2.0 is high? Nah, 2.0 is low. 2.0 is on a white screen. That's low. It's low. Get 1.1 and 0.1 on a white screen, 2.0. What about the rest of his products? Do the rest of his products have any gain level? None of them have one. We've been to the site. On the Jamie site, only product that's showing is somewhat gain is the 2.0, and it's under the Metallica Mix 2.0. Mind you, that's a product you can literally make for free because he shows you on a website, on the YouTube channel, how to make it for free. Does that look like they can pick up a 2.0 gain, just black and white paint? No. Not for real at all. I get people talking about, but that's not true. This product's not black and white paint. Oh, yes, it is, because we got a video of him showing him making it out of black and white paint. It's black and white paint. It's called a blacklist. As a matter of fact, we put a list on here, too. I got to finish this off, too. I put down trash projectors. These are projectors I'm going to put up there. These projectors are absolute trash. They are knockoff projectors. Let me see. Where's the blacklist? There's a blacklist. That's the blacklist. And there you go. Perfect and plain. I don't say anything out of my mouth unless it's true. I'm not gonna get, when I'm talking about my technology, I'm not, either way, I'm not gonna get embarrassed on that level on anything. So that's black and white paint. That's a 2.0, Metallica 2.0. Got it shipped in right here by a customer. Painted it down to a surface and everything. That stuff looks exactly like, I swear it looks exactly like. I told you this is how I'm matching stuff like crazy. Hold on for a minute. It'll probably match it too. Literally same thing. Oh shit, my keyboard. That's the same thing. It's the same freaking thing. Look at that. Wow. Same thing. The same thing. This is the $4 and oh gee, where's weeks. Oh, it's a shame. I tell you, I feel sorry for people just getting ripped off. Y'all getting ripped off. I can't wait to go on site to show off the FLE technology and all the different environments. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do these gray and white screens one better, even certified to do one better. I'm gonna put a challenge on every single screen when I'm outside, showing off our demonstration. So you ought to match us. 38. You got 38 of these challenges to complete. I doubt you're gonna be able to keep up. This will show you exactly how far ahead we are. My goodness, man. Y'all don't have to worry about me at the end of the day. Y'all gotta worry about the tones. That's what you're gonna have to worry about. This stuff right here is going to kill y'all. This stuff is crazy. This is the Apple barrel. This stuff is brutal. Man, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, that really, it's the same color. Look at that. It's the same. My screen is coming out a little bit. It's the same color. It is exactly the same color. Mind you, we bought that. A customer got this for us. This container right here, a customer got that for us and shipped it over. He didn't even know it was coming to us. So he couldn't tamper with it. He couldn't mess with it, anything. It looks exactly like this. Exactly like it. They scared to death of this. They're scared to death of it. They are scared to death of this product right here. This is a nightmare for them. It is a nightmare. It is a nightmare for them. Ah, man. It's bad enough your gains are poor. It is. The 2.0 gain is very poor. It's outdated. It's so outdated. It's not even funny how outdated it is. The 2.0 is very outdated. That's why when you see we made a digital and crystal screen paint, did you know the marking that we gave it? We gave it a 2.0. You know why? Because it's old. It's gray. That's why it was called 2.0. You see the price we charged for it? It was like $38 for it. We give away gray paint for free. We show you how to make it. But it was called a 2.0 because it's old. You can't put no FLE or no ambulate next to it. It won't work with that stuff at all, period. A 2.0 is an old product. You can go back to old demonstrations back in the day. They talk about 2.0s. So that's old. And again, that Apple barrel paint, gee whiz, man. $4.97 for 16 ounces. You only need 2 of them. That's 32 ounces right there. So his gain is really old. The rest of his products, there's no gain attached to any of them at all, period. Products matching. House paint. Jeez whiz. This is awful. Did we even get a gain on this container? I don't think we did. That ain't the least of his problems. He got another problem coming up too. He got royalties. He's being sued for royalties. I think it's Universal Studios. One of them that has a name for Frankenstein. He made money off the name and didn't pay him, and they're going to sue him. They requested more information from us, so we had to send over videos and we had to send over receipts. And he's going to get sued because he made money off their name and didn't pay him a dime, and they want their money. That's why I said, I don't know what in the world he was thinking when he did that. You know, you have to pay for this at the end of the day. You can't just use someone's name. That's like me having Nike and Adidas paint. You can't have Nike and Adidas paint. They would sue the crap out of me for that. I got to pay them for that. or get permission. First, you got to get permission, because sometimes they might not get your permission. Sometimes they might not want their name on this product at all, period. They want nothing to do with it. That's why when you see comedians or actors, sometimes when they're on stage or whatever they're doing, and their shirt's all blanked out, it's all covered over, it's because the company at the end of the day, you know what, I don't like what you're affiliated with. We don't mind you supporting buying our stuff. We just don't want you cursing and carrying on and acting up while you're wearing our logo. And that's why it's blurred out. So you got to get that permission from them, because they may say no. So what if they say no, they don't give you permission, and you use it anyway? You got to pay for that. No dates on there. There's no gain on that on top of either, period, on that product. Man. There's no gain on any of these. The only one that has a gain on it's a 2.0, and that's basically about it. Even at our receipts are only showing one with the gain. So 2.0 is pretty old. It's outdated. And the range gain doesn't even exist. It's a non-existing gain. It doesn't exist at all, period, because we can't find anything on that either. Oh, my goodness. And the elite screens the white ones have the 2.0 gain attached to it. Because they're not going to have a 3. It's virtually impossible. It's a white screen. Well, even elite screen, I questioned that one too, because elite screen acoustic had a 0.9 gain attached to it, and that's questionable because, again, how would that be possible? I mean, it would have to be brighter than the average white screen, as it being white itself, which would be interesting. I got to get done, do some tests on that. I'm curious about that now. 15. Can't go over here. Yeah, that range gain doesn't exist. Can't find anything on it. There's no videos. There's no demonstrations. There's nothing. This just clicks over to the original demonstration, which takes you. Look at where it says right here. Can read first the bullet, and before you start below, don't be afraid to read. Oh, we've read all this. We've been through this. Danny, we've been through all of this. There's nothing here supporting range gain. We didn't been through it all. And I got a message for you for your site. Why did you remove an entire state of Pennsylvania to keep us from buying the product? That's an interesting one right there. What happened to the state of Pennsylvania? Where did it go? All right, then. Let's move on. We've read through all this. We've been through all of this. And this is the video. This is another video behind it. Nothing there. So if you have a range gain application video, you should have 2 videos showing 2 forms of gain. And this is just, I'm not going to play this whole thing out. We've been through this 1,000 times. Yep, same demonstration. Nothing new, nothing different. Same thing at all. Start off with a black screen, end up with a gray screen. How that happened, I have no idea. Look at this. That's crazy. This is what I mean by, okay, he's going to get slammed with all kinds. This is what's going to happen to the customer's screen. That is absolutely awful. That's awful. This is what I mean by that screens have to be tested first. He's got 2 different colors popping up on that screen. Awful. Wow. When I think about the end of the day, if our company decides to sell out and go to a bigger company and get more money for our tech, y'all have nothing. Y'all really have nothing. These are the only 2 people, and the other people make great paints. That's it. That's pretty much it. There is nobody else. That's it. If I decide to take my company and sell out to one of these bigger corporations, say, look, we'll give you the ingredients to how we make our technology, pay us a ton of money, we'll disappear. She was Louise. You guys are screwed on so many levels. Sorry to say it, but you are. It's not even funny. This is what you're dealing with. Products that can't even back their products up, changing color on cameras, products that are matching house paint at the end of the day. You can't even use your screens in fully lit environments. Your screens wash out right from the door. That's horrible. And then you got the certifies. They're $3,000, $5,000 screens at 100 inches. 120 inch, 250 inch. How much money a screen would cost you for that price? DMP Supernova at 180 inches is $18,000. Outdoor projection screens are all white. And on top of that, they don't have the years and the time and the training that we have under our technology. It would take them years to catch up to that level. By then, we'd be multi-millionaires. She was Louise. That's awful. This is oh my goodness, that's awful. That is absolutely horrible. Yeah, Danny, you're not a threat, and you're not a threat at all. First things first, we try to buy your product. You canceled out multiple times, so that's good. We already know from doing not a threat at all, period. Second, there's no testing. Range gain doesn't exist. You can't even back your company up in a court of law to bring you to court. And all this mess right here, I don't know, your screen came up gritty. It's not pasted well. If your customers paint this on for the first time, you're going to get a complaint right there from the door. The first minute they see their wall pushing through, they're definitely going to file a complaint against you. And when they contact you and ask you, because people are expecting, when people paint over something, they're expecting not to paint over it again and again and again to try to fix the screen. They're going to be very ticked off of that. So the fact that they're going to see their actual screen pushing through, and this is primer right here, and they're going to see that pushing through, they're going to contact you and ask you, they put one application on, their wall is still pushing through. How do we fix this? And you're going to tell them, oh, you didn't paint the screen in. You're just covering the paint. You're just getting the area saturated. You're going to get a PayPal complaint against you. Because I wouldn't dare finish it. I wouldn't finish it in fear that I'm going to damage my screen even more. That's why I wouldn't bother with that. I'll file a complaint on you. Gee whiz, that's awful. Range gain's still there. What else do we have? Let me see. We've been to iPaint screens. We've already went through all of them. Let me see. Man. Gee whiz. Horrible gain capabilities. Unbelievable. Let me see what we have here. A list of projection screens and screen paints. We've been through paint on screen. We went through them already. The screens are not black. They're actually come up as a, it says dark gray. You have goose screen. We did goose screen already. The screens are gray and they're max. Whatever that screen's supposed to call ultra black. It's not black. It doesn't even pick up the Infinity one. Let's make this easier for myself. This is just gonna be too much. Gee whiz, I feel sorry for y'all. If we ever decide to go sell out, boy, this is not gonna be good. Let's go to Infinity one. What screens have the Infinity one contrast? Infinity one. Gotta put the decimal there. So it's like if you put down like 10,000 to 1, Infinity one is the same thing, but separate has the 1 with infinity, which means there's no end. See where it says OLED? OLED has Infinity one technology. I mean, the screen is 100% black. Danny's on the other hand, no. Nowhere in the world, because it keeps coming up gray. And if it came up black, when you first time you paint your screen, it's supposed to come up black. When your friends, whoever's doing it, they're supposed to paint, it's supposed to come in black. For that screen to keep coming up gray like that, even when the person basically made the product, that's never good. And then we're going to bring the screen down here, paint it down to see if it would come up black, or even the range gain or anything would have worked on it. And our order was actually, they tampered with the shopping cart to remove that. So let me see. This would be us. We're the only ones who have it. So if you look up Infinity one contrast, we're the only ones that come up under it, because we're the only ones who have the Infinity one contrast. And keep in mind, you're going to have to do black versus black demonstrations for that also too, on top of that, to show exactly that not only do you pick up that Infinity one, but your white levels are extremely high. If I type in black versus black demonstration, you're the only ones who have it. Now, paint on screens claims to have a black level, but we had their product already. Paint on screens. How you charge that much for a white screen? White screen, $98. There's no way around going to pay $98 for a white screen. It's not going to happen. It's crazy. It's a white screen. You're going for ultra short throw. You have to pay extra. So you have to pay extra for ultra short throw. Here it is. See, we tested the screen already. This is a black projection screen, $300. See, but I mean, at the end of the day, let me explain something to you, Mr. Dan. You're going to understand this. See that company right there? They have anything on this site that's not legit, they can be sued for it, for fraud. So they have to put down exactly what color this product really is. Because if they don't, it can get them in a lot of trouble. So even though they have black here, this is what they had down for the color. What does the color read? Deep gray, black. So technically it's gray. Because if you have a black car, your car is black. There's no gray in it. Got a black table, black coat, black jacket, black hoodie. There's no gray in it. It's black. When you go to the store and you buy something, you say, hey, can I get black and gray? That means your hoodie comes out black and gray. I got gray sleeves and I got a my hoodie's black and gray, so that's black and gray. But if I buy a black hoodie, it's 100% black. There's no gray in it whatsoever. Not even the strings are freaking gray. It's all black. So if you're buying something and it's black, then you're getting something that's black. Let me know when you go buy yourself a black leather sofa and you say, hey, I want a black leather sofa, and it comes out gray. Oh, but this is black. I'm not stupid. I know the difference between gray and black. That's actually black. It's gray. So no, that's why you have to write down everything on there precisely, because you can be challenged on this. Anyone can challenge you. Any customer can challenge you. Honestly, you can. But see right here, it says the color, deep gray. So we've had paint on screens here. And yeah, we try to find this gain. It doesn't exist. The only thing that comes up on gain drain is for weightlifters. Let me see. That's the only thing that'll come up. I don't know what he's trying to defend. He ain't let me tell you this way, Mr. Rogers. Everything you're screaming on camera about right now, you can back it up in court. Because we're going to see you in court. You're going to court one way or another. Whether you like it or not, you're going to show up in court. Either FBI agents got to storm your house at the end of the day, whatever's got to be done. But you will be in the courtroom. You will sit on that stand. You're going to basically swear an oath under that Bible, and you're going to answer every question my attorney's going to ask you, because we're basically challenging your company for fraud. And again, I guarantee you that you don't even know what range gain is. I don't think you know what it is. I think you made it up. So that's going to be a problem. The other problem you have is saying that your product is front and rear. That's an issue because, again, rear can't be done with a roller. I would love to see it done. Show me. I've not seen any of these demonstrations whatsoever about your products. Your products are not real. They're fake. Let's go look up. Let me see. We looked for customer reviews. We couldn't find any customers because, again, no one's dumb enough to buy this stuff. No one's dumb enough. This is why we look for Jamie's recent customers. There are no recent customers. Nobody in their right mind is going to be caught on YouTube looking like a complete idiot buying this product to begin with, knowing that it matched house paint. And at that, even worse, he can't even go against the, what is it called? The apple barrel paint, because he's not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So he wouldn't, I told you, we did the slip silver, because I told you that once he went through that ordeal with the Network Gray 773, that was the worst ordeal he probably went through in his whole entire life. Watching that screen match, watching it blend, him just trying to constantly lie on camera to try to fix the problem. It's like watching someone try to put out a freaking forest fire with a thimble full of water. Virtually impossible. He wasn't stopping that freaking flame. So he just had to deal with it and just lie through his teeth the best way he possibly could. Did those videos stay up? Were he posting to his website? No, he removed the videos off his channel. As a matter of fact, when we challenged his company in court, we could show the courts that he tried to remove evidence. He tried to hide it. We caught him in a live stream removing the video. Yeah, got you in trouble. You get in trouble for hiding evidence. You know, that calls you guilty right from the door. And then he tried to come back in and repost the video from a year ago and try to lie and change the title to yellowish tones and try to lie to his customers again to rip them off. The Bear Silver Screen personal mix. You know, we asked him, told his product match Bear Silver Screen. We had it over here for testing. He did the demonstration, shows him walking right out of Home Depot, matched the product, and continued to sell it. What gets Jamie in a lot of trouble, besides the other stuff he's already involved in, is the fact that the fraud against his company clearly shows he didn't pull the product off the site, knowing that it was matching house paint, that he continued to sell it. That's what's getting him in trouble. That's the fraud. So you have a shopping cart, you're taking money from people at the end of the day, knowing that this product has matched the house paint. This is what's going to get him in some serious trouble. Mind you, he's got serious troubles already with the criminal charges that are coming up. You know, it's already bad already. This guy's looking at some very serious jail time. Post office fraud charges, sorry to bring this up, but they're carrying 40 years. We already got the confirmation that they're basically starting their case on basically seeing what happened with us and him between these packages and why they came up like this. So that's already about to come to a head to get that in court. We're not involved in that. They'll be bringing him to court. So FBI agents will be coming to his front door for that. So he's got problems right there alone. And we're talking about criminal charges. We got freaking terroristic threats. We got freaking cyber stalking. We got doxing of addresses, harassing with emails, harassing with their company, posting the defamation lawsuits that are coming up on top of them. So it's pretty bad. It's extremely bad. And then anyone who got caught up in that mess and worked with this guy and was on those charges, they're also going to be investigated too on top of that. So it's not going too well for him right now. Whew. Man. Made me dizzy just thinking about it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. So he got himself into a lot of trouble. Do that. So chances are they may be reaching. They're going to go through his PayPal account. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go right for actually when the post office fraud charges come through, he can't ship to the United States Postal. He's banned from that altogether. They're going to cut that right from the door. Basically from there, that's gone. When it comes to the other fraud charges involving selling these products, not knowing they're properly tested, they're going to go through his PayPal account. They're going to go find and track down all his customers or anybody has anything to do with that particular product. And again, you might be getting some phone calls or they might be trying to reach out to you. But he's in a lot of trouble with that. The Frankenstein mix, he made money off this company without paying any royalties out to them. They're going to go right through his account again, and they're going to contact PayPal, and PayPal's legal department is going to get involved in this. It's going to be a hot mess. They're going to take his account and they're going to shut it down. That's what's going to happen. They're going to contact the website, do Wix, and go to there anyway, and they're going to shut that down too. There's so many ways it's going to happen. When he goes to court for the criminal charges, because there's involved with the FBI, it's a group that they not interrogation group, there's a group involved with internet crimes. They shut everything down. Once that case hits the judge, they got to automatically knock it down, which means these guys don't have any access to online use ever, at all, period, because of crimes that were committed. It's a mess. It's a crazy mess. It is. It is a mess. And that range gain, all that stuff, yeah, that's scamming, and that's fraud. You got to back it up. Because if I can't go into your site, especially if we go on Jamie's site, no, he rants and carries on everybody. But if I can't go on your site and I can't find any of this stuff, what do you think the customer's going through? Not just me, the customers research. All customers research. Do you think I'm the only person that researches on the planet? Think other people don't research stuff too? Yeah, they research us, they research them, they research everybody. And we get the same thing when we get customers that come back to us. Say, yeah, we've already been through all this stuff, we've been through stuff. No one's matching your stuff at the end of the day. And there is no one matching our stuff. So bottom line is you have to be to back this up. Paint on screens. Let's see. Yeah, you got to back it up. So you got to be careful what you put on your site when you're selling things. Don't ever over embellish the truth. Tell it like it is, because anyone can bring you on fraud charges for your company. That's why I sat there and said at the end of the day, if I'm committing all this fraud, where's your attorneys at? How come no one has reached out to me? It's a month already. Did I say this last month? So we ain't got no emails, no attorneys, no one reached out to us, not at all, not a thing, nothing. But I'm the one doing, where's the attorneys? Okay then, I thought so. You don't have anything because we didn't do anything, but you did plenty, lots of plenty. Paint on screens, paint on screens, paint on screens. Paint on screens. Do I have to put down their name? Because I put down paint on screens. I'm going to bring up every paint on screen I've ever painted on. Paint on screens. Let me see. What if I put down, is here? Maybe it's here. I might do it. There we go. There it is right there. That's the paint on screens. Samples. I got to put down this here because that's literally what I put down on there. That's your company right there. That's why I said at the end of the day, you know, when I sit there and say out of my mouth that there is no one else but us, I'm not saying that to be smart in the day. We've done the testing. If I want to go after a company, I go buy their product. See right there in that box? That's paint on screens. That's their product right in there. I ordered the way they make their samples are interesting too. They put them on actual drywall, which I thought was pretty cool, but I'm kind of afraid I might snap these things by accident because I'm pretty clumsy with my my samples sometimes. But yeah, we ordered it right there from there. Goose Screen, we did their demonstrations. We ordered their product. We ordered their darkest product, their best of their best. So I ordered it, picked it up. It's right there. I'm not going to sit there and make statements out of my mouth that are not true. See? Right there. Paint on screens. So when I get somebody comes in and says, hey, have you done that one? Already did it. Right there. Done. Yep. There's the company right there. That's the screen we ordered right there. The sample we ordered. That's the surface right there. No, screen I have laying against the wall is black. That's gray. See? Yep. We tested your stuff. Siree. You don't get 10,000 video demonstrations just by just sitting there dwindling your fingers together. You got to do a ton of testing for that. Got to do a ton of testing for all that stuff. Let me see. Sunbather video test. I have no idea what this is going to dig up on my end. That's the only thing I can think of. Outdoor projection screen test. I'll see if this thing pulls up. It's one of the weird demonstrations. And we have these demonstrations called crazies, which we do some really crazy stuff, like sinking screens underwater, freezing them into block ice, like crazy stuff. That's stuff that people would never do. Or like attaching a 2600 laser projector to the side of your deck at 11 feet high and laying the screen on the ground in the middle of the day. We call those the crazy demonstrations or wild card demonstrations. Sunbather projection screen. Curious what this thing digs up. Oh, there it is right there. Boom. Told you. I don't say what I can't back up. We're the only ones who did it. That is one of the most insane demonstrations. Literally took a screen, a deck, and we built a, I'll show you. Like I said, you got to do crazy stuff like this. So that's a 1,000 lumen projector. What better way to kill 1,000 lumen projectors? The whole object was to kill the 1,000 lumens, to not even give it a chance to start from the door. We want to basically trip it up as much as possible, right? So the best way to do this is to stick a projector outside and let the sunlight hit the projector. At the time, I didn't realize how much light was making contact with the screen, but now I did the research and found out it's about 100 lux of light was making contact with the projector. So let's see, because this is a very long video. I actually built this entire thing on video so everybody can see it. So excuse me if I laugh at you naysayers who make these faulty paints when I tell you that you cry and whine about that little bit of light that makes contact with your screen and you think you're doing something at the end of the day. This is the kind of crazy stuff that I do. You got to be way outside the box, comfort zone. You got to have the nerve to get on camera and say, I'm not holding this screen's hand. You weren't holding the hand. You were picking it up and you was cradling it like a little baby. That's what you was doing. No. This is what I mean by brutal. This is why when we come for your product, you'll cancel out because you know the kind of crazy stuff that we do to screens. So we're not here. Fast for a little bit. There's the deck. So I built the deck out there. I'm going to show you because it's fast. There's a deck. I built it out there. See how the sunlight's hitting it. All right. Trying to get the projector to fit in there just right. How much faith do you have in your product? It comes down, gentlemen, to how much faith do you have in your products? And apparently by the cancellations we've received, you don't have much. You couldn't pass this test. Danny, if I stuck your product on this test, it would have failed. Jamie, if I stuck your product on this test, it would have failed. So as to travel all the way through here, hit that screen. So you're seeing it right now. It's right there. The projector's on. So my neighbors in the neighborhood thought I was absolutely nuts. Because they're like, why is this guy putting a projector outside? The reason for everything. Reason for everything. Then, that insult to injury, I stuck a 1,000-watt light bulb in the middle of the screen. So let's get this straight. Let's see what's going on here from this demonstration. And Jamie, I can't explain to you enough. Stop doing demonstrations in the dark. That's embarrassing. You guys do these demonstrations in these really dark environments. Contrast demonstrations are supposed to be done in fully lit environments. I can't explain that enough. This is why, Jamie, you're going to get sued for $10 million in a lawsuit. You see that right there? That's a technology, a black technology that you claimed at the end of the day. This product basically came up dark in your apartment where we have a projector sitting outside at 1,000 lumens sitting in sunlight, which means there's a little bit of 1,000 lumen project images and 1,000 lumens that's got to travel 13 feet, push through a 1,000-watt light bulb and nail that screen and pull a white level at the same time. Hope you got $10 million on you because you're going to need it. There's no way in the world you'd be approved anywhere whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we'll have somebody order your paint and I'll bring it down to the courtroom and paint your screen right next to mine, see if it turns it dark. This is why I explain to people at the end of the day, you don't want me in court with you. You really don't. You're the last person that I can back my stuff up. Not only will I take your product and destroy it in that courtroom, but you'll never turn that product dark. Not ever. And you lose on this, man. You're going to owe me $10 million. I don't care if you don't have it or not. It's not my problem. This is the kind of insane stuff you got to do. That's why you people call yourself, Rogers, call yourself making this black paint. No, man. That stuff you got, your screen sitting on that floor. You have no light hitting your screen. Your screen's sitting in the dark under what we do and how we test our screens out. Your screen is sitting in the dark. That's 1,000 lumens. Solid Wake 5, you made a statement out of your mouth by saying that I only use 4,000 to 5,000 projectors to make my white levels kick. You can't prove that in a court of law, which we can show here at 1,000 lumens. We can do this demonstration. I can do this in a courtroom with no problem whatsoever. You're going to owe me $1 million. We went from $250 to $1 million easily because the lawyers want that much. That's why I said be careful about what you talk about my technology. People don't understand the stuff that we do in our demonstrations, man. I got to do stuff like this. You know why? Because I get bored. Same demonstration, fully lit environments. We take screens, we throw them in windows. We take screens, we drop them under condensed lighting. We hit them with sunlight. We do all kinds of crazy stuff to them. So after a while, I get to the point like, man, I don't really want to do this anymore because I'm getting bored of it all. So we got to find crazy stuff to do. Like taking your projector and sticking it outside at 140 inches. You know that the Ultimate GT 5500 was only designed to do 100 inches. Ours was maxed at, we had it at 140. So right there, as you can see, I can go take my images. There's my projector right there. See? Right outside the window. So this is why when we get one of those customers, and I hate to say this, after all the testing, doing stuff like this, you have no idea. Some of the customers don't really understand exactly how crazy our tests are. Our tests are nuts. When you put your stuff through this kind of testing, and this is constant man hours of testing, and then after that, you can provide a batch number of the product working perfectly fine, and I ship this to your front door, and you come back and tell me that you couldn't see the screen at all. This is where you insult my intelligence, and I get bothered by that. because I know the product works. This is why I request you to ship it back to us, because I'm going to test it on YouTube Live. There, we don't mention the customer's name. Never do that, because they're everything they have very. I don't like to talk about my customers with blah blah blah. But we'll say a customer return. They know it is because we contact them and we tell them when. But no one knows the customer's name, so that never gets mentioned ever. We don't do that. But you will know that when that product comes back here, we will do that test on a projector way lower than yours and 10 times more light than you ever used in your demonstration. And I guarantee that product will work 100%. Now, if I had to argue with you, and I've had that happen to 2 people that I had to argue with them about sending the product back, and they argue with me about it. Oh, I don't want to do it one day. What's the problem then? Why can't you just send the product back to us to do the live stream, unless you did something to the product that's causing it to act funny? Because I'm requesting you to bring it back. What's the problem? Then it shouldn't be a problem, should there? All right, there you go. If I bought a TV and the TV's malfunction, it's not working right, and they say, hey, bring it back. I'm bringing it back. Here's my receipt, blah, 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 blah. Video, thank you so much. That's all you got to do. But if someone contacts me and says, well, we're going to check inside the TV, make sure the parts and nothing wrong with it, and I know that I went inside that item and tampered with it, then I'm going to argue about it. Because I know if they open up that unit, they're going to find that I was inside of it and I messed with it. There you go. That's why we request to send back. Now, the other customer, we had to send back come through. We painted the screen twice. Sent the screen back to him. Later on, he tells me, and says he has an 8-man projector. Oh, you could have started with that one first, because that would have made things a lot more easier. We don't support the projector. It won't work on our products. We don't support it. He gets mad. He goes into a rant about how it's not, we should support it. We should support it. We don't support it. It's not a projector we support. Mr. Matthew, hello. You know about that one, don't you? That got you in a lot of trouble. Anyway, so we don't support this projector. It's 4,800 lumens. It's full 1080p. The projector works perfectly fine on a white wall. Yeah, would you been to the blacklist? Those projectors run on white walls. They run on gray screens. They don't run on black technology. They run on gunmetal. They don't work. If it works so well, why did you contact me? Because I couldn't get the contrast to work. I couldn't get the color to work. And every time we turned the lights on, the screen would wash out. I saw your demonstrations in fully lit environments. That's what I wanted. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do it with that projector because it doesn't work. You're just going to have to get a new projector. Just get an older model. It doesn't make a difference. It'll be cheaper than that one. It doesn't make a difference. Just get an older one. You don't want to buy a new projector. I sent him to a merchant, really good projector, under $100. He still don't want to buy it. He wants to fuss and carry on with me. All right, I'm going to buy your projector. I went and purchased this projector. Did unboxing on the 8-man. It was crap, garbage, trash. It was such a trashy projector. I had a projector that I bought that was a knockoff, and it was better than that one. That's how bad that thing was. Throws it in the trash. $35 down the drain. Sent him the video. Still got mad at me. Said that I was wrong. All right, I'm done. You're banned. Don't you ever buy anything from me ever again. As long as I live, don't ever buy nothing from me. Ever. Yeah. We request to send back. That's why. That's all right. We said something. That's why, because we do demonstrations like this. And other people, if you're cutting corners and you're not doing your demonstrations correctly and you're cheating customers, you're hiding in the dark, you're making fake specifications and all that dumb nonsense at the end of the day, guess what? Customer got a leg to stand on. Even the bad ones got a leg to stand on because your product's not even tested. You can't even troubleshoot it. See how much light we have in the environment? So consider the fact that 1,000 lumens outside sits on a ledge. It's covered in sunlight. 100,000 lux of lights making contact with the projector. How many lumens do you think it's left before it travels across this well-lit environment, makes contact with 1,000-watt light and hits the screen and still pulls up? Ain't nothing left of those lumens. But that black technology has a gain high enough to generate a bright enough image to push it right back at me so I can see it. So when I see people in demonstrations doing these poorly lit environments, a little bit of lights, a little cracked open door, and some windows in the background, and no light is barely making it to the screen whatsoever, or screen sitting on the floor. I noticed, Danny, you have a habit of putting your screens on the floor constantly all the time. I know why, because you dodge the window light, and the overhead lights take a longer distance to travel to make contact with your screen, which they pretty much aren't. So again, your products don't work at all, period. And the fact that Wake, at the end of the day, had to redirect the blinds to go upward so they wouldn't hit the screen also told me a lot of things right there. So again, when we do demonstrations like this, gentlemen, this is why I laugh at your demonstrations and say that you're still in a dark environment. It's not to be rude. You're in a dark environment. That's all to it. This is what you have to do to prove your ambient light rejection works. Your gain works. It's the kind of brutal craziness you have to do. And Danny's over there ranting about this freaking PSP nonsense in the day. Buddy, your black paint can't even hit an ultra short throw. It clearly says or stated that your product doesn't even work on ultra short throws. Our product reads on an ultra short throw projector. I don't know how in the world you're coming off with thinking your product's better. And at that, you got to get the screen to turn black first before you can actually call it a black screen. That kind of helps out right there. There's no advantage point on that one. Your range gain doesn't exist at all. You're just looking at multiple PayPal complaints because your product's not going to work. And the minute the customer paints down that nightmare of a screen, they're going to be upset because you know why? Their wall's going to push right through that screen. They're going to see little spotty images of the original wall pushing through, which we were going to do in the test demonstrations, but Danny got scared and pulled the order. Remove the state. Tell me if I'm lying on that one. All right then. So again, customer's going to contact you, and the first thing you're going to say is, especially if they spent money, he or she, for their screen or even their freaking wall, which you're really going to be upset about because it's their wall at the end of the day. They're going to contact you and say, hey, look, my wall's pushing through. How do I fix this mess? And you're going to say, oh, you haven't painted the screen yet. You just got to cover it first. Automatically got a PayPal complaint against you because I'm not finishing the job. You know why I'm not going to finish the job? After the poor mess that I'm seeing already, I don't want to father any damage to my wall, my motorized projection screen, or fixed frame screen, or anything else I just painted. I don't want to father it. So I'm going to file a complaint against you. That's what's going to happen right from the door. It ain't worth it. Did all that work just to cover the screen? That's it? Not painting the screen in. Then I got to hit it with a light pressure, then a heavy pressure. Then forget it. Do you see how fast it took me to paint in this piece of death, this piece of wood I got sitting right here that I use them as a table? How fast I painted this thing in? One hit, done. That's it. Yeah. Nobody wants to go through all that. Too much work. Way too much work. Y'all kill me with this whole, oh, but you know, we're in fully lit environments and all that stuff. You know, not fully lit environments. It's my 235.1, my big boy. My goodness. Oh yeah, by the way, he has you paint the screen this way. Good luck on painting a 235.1 this way. Yeah, you're supposed to paint it this way. This is why I know, Danny, I'm going to explain something to you. I've been here longer than you have. I have more experience. I have more knowledge. I look at my YouTube account versus yours versus on how many demonstrations I go back way. You're not even anywhere close to being where I'm at. You see the screen, it's a 235.1 at 158 inches. Do you know how much of a nightmare it would be if I had to paint the screen this way? This would be a headache. This is why people paint screens this way. Much easier to do. Because if I'm painting a wall, keep in mind, and my wall's not 235.1, and I'm coming at 150 inches, 7 feet by 13 feet. That means I'm going to have to get up on a ladder to reach the 7 feet length and move this way. How the freak am I doing that? That's going to be a headache to do. I got to stretch my arm all the way over, get a longer pole to paint your screen in. Good luck on that. Hope you enjoy the back problems because you're going to have a lot from that. So you're going to stretch all the way over with maybe a 6 foot, 7 foot, mine screen's about 13 feet wide pole to make it from one end to paint it this way. Yeah, you're going to tear your back up. You paint them this way. This is how you paint them. All screens down through time are painted this way. It's much easier. You're working too hard. Doing too much. Working too hard. Working too hard. Painting a projection screen outside. Why do I always put down paint? I swear, I put down painting. It puts down pain in. Intelligence. Oh. Anyway, of the freaking AI, whatever nonsense. Oh. Okay, how we doing out there? First things first, let's just screen on the gaming on in a few minutes. My name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Luminous 4K screen paint using ambient light projection technology gain. You see how my screen doesn't sit on the floor, Danny, my friend? It doesn't. See? On the floor. This is a custom built 126-inch screen that I designed. Let me show you the fun part about it is. See right here? This thing is supposed to look the same way here than it does outside. This is before I did the ceiling. Now I walk out my door. This is what I'm expecting to see. Can't do with gray. Oh, got a full moon too. Something you can't do with gray and white screens. That's how your screen's supposed to come up. It shouldn't be washed out. I should have ordered another one of these gray paints by Apple. I'm gonna get me another one. What's the other one they have? They got another one too. I'm gonna look this up on whatchamacallit real quick. I'm gonna look up Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel. They got the gray. $249. Huh. The border. Yeah, you got to use this with gray screen. You need a border. All right, let me see. Having a good time. That's the same thing when I showed you about the contrast and all that stuff. Yeah, the products. The problem you have with the gray paints, as again before, they just can't see the contrast level. They just can't pick it up. That's why I took my cell phone. My cell phone has an OLED screen to it. It's an OLED on my cell phone, right? So with that being said, if I stick that up against my screen, you know what I mean, it can read the infinity contrast level, but gray screen can't read it. And with this so-called black screen, the Series C, well, let's put it this way, Danny. I really don't have to say much about your product. We do know the range gain and all that doesn't exist, but it comes down to it, buddy. We got cancellations on your product. That's what we have. All right, you can't back your product up. You're afraid of something, so you can't back it up. And then we did come in to buy the product. You removed an entire state, so you can't get any more embarrassing than that. You removed an entire state because you were afraid. You can't afford another cancellation. That's embarrassing. We already have like 7 of them on you already, about $700 worth. You can't afford another one of those. So you knew you were going to cancel. There's no way in the world you can let me get my hands on that product down here. I'd tested the daylights out of it. You know that product when it came up, it wouldn't have worked at all, period. But it's not me that did the damage to your company, it's yourself. Because even the customer themselves, when they go to pick up your product, that screen's going to change colors multiple times and they're going to have problems with it. The fact that they have to go through all that just to paint the screen in is going to be a problem. And the range gain is going to come up multiple times on what gain does the screen have and how do I achieve the higher gain. And if you don't know how to do it because you don't have a video showing you how to do it, well, you're going to have a PayPal complaint slammed against you. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's not going to work too well. That's why your product is dead in the water already. Before you even try to get your product off the ground, you've already murdered it already. Oh, where's that cord at? Biggest problem he's going to have, him and Jamie, is when we take him to company to court. They got to back it up. If they don't, they're going to have a lot of problems. Yep. Now, see how fast I can just switch off from my monitor and just go right over to 50 lumens and hit my screen. Man, your projector can't do this, and your screen fan can't do this because you got a 2000 crutch on your screen. So a 2000 crutch means that they put it at a comfortable level. That comfortable level is at the 2000 mark. That'll hurt your screen. You're gonna make sure it can pick up on these babies. Because again, if ours, which now we're gonna have it at 50 lumens because we have portable screens coming out. So we have these rules and regulations in it, but still on a portable screen we pick up at 50 lumens. Now what are you gonna do? Come out and say we can do 50 lumens too also, but you just said 2000. Which one is it? You don't know. You put it because you didn't do any testing. You might have been able to pick up at 50 lumens, who knows? But because you went with a comfortable level, because it was safer for your screen, that's why you chose the 2000 mark. Ours picks up at 1000, but on portables we can pick up at 50. Isn't that cool? I actually swapped out from a 4000 and did that. Ugh. Woo! Talk a woo! Woo! All right. We had fun talking about the range gain. There's nothing else I need to talk about from there. Gentlemen, you can watch my company blow up when I hit the 38 sites online, on site, because I plan to be on every place. This technology is going to do things that other screens do not have the capabilities. And after what I've seen already from what's out there in the market right now, gee whiz Louise, man. I mean, you could go to paint on screens, but no infinity contrast low, and you don't have that. You have some problem. We already tested that stuff. So, yeah, no goose screen certifies. We can take those outdoors. You know, that's it. Pretty much, FLE is going to conquer everything. It's going to literally conquer everything. And our bragging rights is we have a screen that can absorb sunlight. Think about that. Even the ambient rejection technology could pick up and do demonstrations that the other screens couldn't even do. Like stick a 1000 lumen projector on a ledge and hit it with 100,000 lux of sunlight just to kill the lumen count to make the screen work harder. I can't wait to get my which one. This is 50 lumens right here. This is 50 lumens. My mind is functioning off in several different directions. So that's why on camera, if you hear me talk about one thing, but then I change to this and that and the other, because my mind's constantly just switching over to just things that are popping up in my head. Like right now, I'm looking at basically on how to build a different gaming desk involving this technology right here. Different forms of projectors I want to use. So gentlemen, as I'm coming in here and I'm talking about how your gains don't work at the end of the day, I'm always designing something new inside my head right now. So right now I'm already thinking about this is going to be a 3 projector setup. We're going to have a Dell. We're going to have the Magsonic, and we're going to have the the Dell and a Kodak. I'm going to pick up a Kodak. People gave it bad reviews, but I don't know. I bought products that had bad reviews and they still work right. But then again, you have to understand what they're using at the end of the day. That's why I look at it differently. Because people say, well, it didn't show up on my screen properly, it wasn't bright enough, that the colors didn't pop well. That's because you're using it on a white screen. That's why. It's not the projector's fault. It's your screen's fault. So that's the problem right there. That's the problem you're having. So that's why when I see people give a projector bad review, they say the colors and all that super bland. Yeah, that's not the projector's fault. That's the screen's fault. All right, got to go. Pretty soon we'll have our projector set up. Pretty soon our mini projector set up. All right. Look at you looking all crazy.